All right, welcome. I want to thank everyone for joining us, for joining me for episode 14 of the Know It All podcast. Haven't been posting as regularly as we should, but we're going to get back into the swing of things. And what I want to talk about today, I want to focus on two different segments from the most recent Jubilee debate. For those that have been paying attention, it's been trending online since it dropped on Sunday, where it was supposed to be one progressive versus 20 far right conservatives. What it turned out to be is one progressive against a scatter of different types of conservatives, including far right fascists, including really hateful and bad people. But I want to focus on two different sides of the spectrum by focusing on two of the guests that debated Mehdi Hasan, who is a fucking phenomenal human encyclopedia. I don't understand how he can retain so much information. But I want to focus on the guy who probably got the most attention. He claims that he's now lost his job. He's somehow been able to raise $25,000, and I hate that uh, Jubilee was able to platform him to get him to this status. And I guess in a way, I'm platforming him by reacting to the video. But I just want to draw some attention to some really alarming facts about where things are today and where the MAGA movement has been able to shift the conservative movement to a proud far right side of the political spectrum. And we'll move on from there. So without further delay, let's move in.
My next claim is that Donald Trump is defying the Constitution.
Here comes our village idiot.
Nice to meet
pleasure
you.
to meet you, sir.
Mehdi, lovely to meet you.
So I would say that with Trump being anti-constitution, I don't really care to be.
I don't know if you guys can hear me clearly. Let me get
In
my microphone.
regards to the Constitution is a document that should seek to serve us.
Yeah.
And when it fails to seek to serve us, that can be amended. Laws can be changed. And quite frankly, the fact is, we're defending things in this country that shouldn't be defended. The First Amendment should not defend pornography.
Let's stop here for a second. This guy has started off his argument by completely dismounting the importance of the Constitution. You know, I'm old enough to remember when most conservatives claimed to be staunch constitutionalists, and they were so proud of this old document and the founding fathers and their great wisdom in creating this document. And now here we are in 2025, and we have a gentleman. I use that word very loosely here, very proud to say that he does not care about the Constitution. He doesn't care about the actions of our current president and the constitutionality of those actions. He's basically going to explain why, as long as his decisions that are contrary to the Constitution are in alignment with what he sees as important, it's a nothing burger. Don't look this way. You know, it's kind of like the Epstein files. What Epstein files? You know, it's not a thing anymore, right? Let's move on.
And making children and women be victimized, as a result of that. I think things like blasphemy shouldn't be allowed.
I feel the same way about pornography as I feel about pineapples on pizza. If you like it, I love it. You know, you don't have to support people eating pineapples on pizza. You don't have to support people watching pornography. I happen to be a connoisseur, but what you do have to do is allow freedom. You can't have freedom be something that is only in line with things you agree with, because eventually it's not going to be in line with something you agree with, and you're going to be sitting there as a victim feeling like a fucking idiot.
Per the First Amendment, I think that, quite frankly, there are a lot of legal processes that are enabling criminals and bad people to fully enact their will in this country in the name of the Constitution or following the Constitution. So, quite frankly, if Trump is anti-Constitution, good, and I think he should go further.
So this is wonderfully revealing of the modern conservative mindset. So I appreciate you spelling it out so openly. Just checking, do you support the Second Amendment?
I do.
Okay, surprise! I was shocked to hear that. I'm saying that Donald Trump is defying the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He's thinking of defying the 12th and 22nd Amendments. You're saying you don't care about the Constitution, but actually you do, because you quite like the Second Amendment. You just don't like the bits that you disagree with. Can I just be clear on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm more than willing to amend it and include
Whenever
the
it's in
Second
your
Amendment.
favor.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
so can Democrats do the same when they're in office?
No, absolutely not.
So
Because
you don't
it's the
believe in
friend enemy.
democracy?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
What do you believe in?
Autocracy.
By who?
Honestly, quite frankly, anyone who is in line with Catholic teaching.
Donald Trump is not Catholic.
So now he believes in autocracy and he doesn't believe in democracy. So he doesn't care about the Constitution. He doesn't care about democracy. This is the modern conservative party. This is not Reagan's party. As much of a piece of shit as Reagan was, this is not Reagan's party. Reagan will be called a moderate, a liberal in today's conservative party. And I know this gentleman, I use the word so loosely, claims to be far right. Later, he's going to claim proudly that he's a fascist. But this is a disconnect with everything that they claim America is about.
Of course, he's not. I completely agree,
So
and
you
that's part of
support
the
Trump?
problem.
You don't support Trump?
No, I don't. I didn't even vote for him. I wrote in like John Pork or someone. I
Why
can't
did
even
you-
remember.
Why did you vote if you don't believe in democracy and you want autocracy?
Well, because quite frankly, I voted.
This is
I kind
fascinating.
of voted just to
I came with this
troll a
argument,
little
but
bit,
I'm bored of my own argument. I'm much more interested in this. So
Yeah, absolutely.
how do we get to an autocracy?
I think, quite frankly, that if we are able to enact local
Who
leaders,
is the we,
or-
by the way?
I think, quite frankly, these far right conservatives sitting right around
White
me.
people?
Yeah,
No brown
absolutely.
people. So
Well,
some of
actually,
you guys,
I have quite.
some of the people
I
in this
have
room
quite-
don't make the
No,
cut
no,
from what I can
actually,
see visually.
Actually, hold on for a moment. I do think that there are people who happen to not be white who do actually have history in this.
And here comes the good minority that I'm okay with. I'll tolerate as long as you align with my mindset. You align with my goals. You're a useful idiot. You're a token. He's about to explain why certain types of brown people are okay with what he sees as the ideal United States of America. And that should make every minority that it calls themselves far right, especially, but it should concern every conservative who is some sort of minority, whether you're part of the LGBTQ community, whether you're part of the Hispanic community, the Black community, if you're a woman, if you're non-religious, specifically not a Christian, and you call yourself proud to be a conservative, you should be concerned because the Conservative Party no longer even wants to pretend that they're an inclusive club. This guy's not an anomaly. You know, he's not one really horrible example. He's just a representative of a completely ridiculous part of the conservative movement. And MAGA is what pushed these people into broad daylight. These people used to be in the shadows, embarrassed to admit who they are, but they've become emboldened. Like I always say, it doesn't matter to me if Donald Trump is racist or not. You have to ask yourself, why do racist and hateful people like him so much? What do they see in him that makes them want to embrace him? That should be your chief concern.
Country and have roots in this country. For instance, from the Mexican-American War, we subsumed a lot of territory of people who have far stakes in this country who happen to be Hispanic or what have you.
Okay.
I'm for defending the traditional demographics of this country, which is majority white,
So
and
how-
should stay that
How
way.
does the United States? I mean, we've gone so off topic, but how does the United States look like under you? Sorry, what's your name?
My name is my name's Connor. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Took a little bit of a doubt there.
Oh
just
well,
saying your name.
I use
Connor,
a pseudonym online.
fair enough,
but
Connor.
fair enough.
How would Connor's America look? What would it look like?
Well, quite frankly, I think we would deport people who shouldn't be here.
No, I didn't ask about
whether-
deporting. What does the government look like?
What's the government look like?
Yeah.
I would say, quite frankly, it's under a sort of benevolent leader, such as
Where does he
Franco.
come from?
Benevolent leader.
It could be a kind of aristocratic class. Could be someone
No, but
who,
who picks the autocrat?
frankly, the people. I mean, we could hold a vote on it. Kings
So
were
isn't
paid.
that democracy?
Well, sure. You can have a vote to get to that.
You want
stage.
democracy until it's useful.
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%.
Why would you-
Wow. And if that autocrat kills you and your family, you're fine with that.
Well, I'm not going to be a part of the group that he killed.
See, and this is the thing, the don't tread on me crowd, the pro 2A people who find themselves convinced that the tyranny that they say they're against would never happen to them. They're okay with other people being terrorized by it, by the government, because they feel like they're safe. And that's what they're fighting for. They're fighting for the government to get rid of everyone that they don't like or don't agree with, because then it's okay for the government to oppress its people. But then after that, you think this autocrats just want to chill out and be like, now everything's great, and I no longer want to fuck with people. And that's where you fall into the trap of looking like a fucking idiot. Let's move on.
because that's the
know?
whole thing.
How do you know?
Carl Schmitt
Autocrats tend to kill everyone,
Carl
even their own
Schmitt makes
supporters.
this point very well in his
You
work.
just
It's the
quoted a
friend
Nazi.
distinction, right? You
Carl
liberals,
Schmitt, the Nazi
yeah,
theoretician.
absolutely. I don't care.
Are you
Who
fan of
ca-
the Nazis?
I don't. I frankly don't care being called a Nazi.
I
At
didn't
all.
say that. I
Doesn't
didn't
matter
actually
to
say
me.
that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that. But
What about the
you know,
persecution of the Jews?
well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But
And
you
so
don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews.
I think that there was a little bit of persecution
We
and
may
stuff like
have
that,
to
which is
rename
bad.
this show
But
because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
hey, what can I say?
I think you can say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Proud to be a fascist.
I'm just checking who's
2025
clapping just
people.
to get my set of where everyone is on
Because
this. Because you know that millions of people are going to be watching you on YouTube and checking out
Yeah,
who the fascists and
absolutely.
the Nazis are.
I'm not ashamed of that
No,
whatsoever.
clearly you're not.
During the
Clearly
pre-war period prior to World War II, it was only those parties that properly enacted the people's will. That's why they won. The conservatives were fat
Are
cats.
you
They were
in favor of,
aristocrats. They didn't care.
favor of killing people who aren't like you?
Quite frankly, I'm not. If
You mentioned
they...
Franco earlier. Franco killed a lot of innocent people.
Oh, well, he killed communists. He killed people who raped nuns and killed priests.
What about children who he killed and women who he killed?
What are you talking about? He never killed any women or children. He was Catholic.
He only
dude.
killed combatants. Is that what you're
Yeah,
claiming?
he only killed combatants.
Never killed any innocent people.
The white terror was only punishing those people who did acts of terrorism. And again, are you supporting like raping innocent women? Nuns, dude. Killing priests? I mean, priests don't brandish guns.
We have a Nazi sympathizer. I just want to make that perfectly clear to the people who maybe didn't digest. A Nazi sympathizer. That should immediately tell you that you're in the wrong room. You're talking to the wrong people because we don't embrace Nazis. We punch Nazis in the face. World War II might ring a bell. I'm old enough to remember when everyone collectively wanted to punch Nazis in the face. Now, like trying to find positive points. You should be embarrassed.
You just refuse to condemn the Nazi Holocaust, my friend. I don't think you're in a position to ask anyone any questions.
I quite frankly don't care what you think about me. If I'm a Nazi and
the
being a
feeling
Nazi
is mutual.
if
So
being a Nazi means upholding human dignity, because I even believe in your dignity. I don't in a state that
When someone says I even believe in your dignity, that means they don't believe in your dignity. Okay, it's like if someone says, "No, I even like black people." What do you mean even? That means you're drawing some sort of hierarchy in how you see that group. So for you to sit here and tell him that I even care about your dignity tells me everything that I need to know. You don't actually care about his dignity, except for the useful tokens that you feel like will help your movement happen.
I was running, I wouldn't want to hurt you or anything like that. But quite frankly,
I don't debate fascists.
Okay. So do you concede then? I mean, why
do I concede you're a fascist who won't condemn the Nazis?
Yeah.
Yes, I concede that.
Okay, great. So I mean, what are we doing here? Because I mean, you just seem
offended.
offended.
What you're doing here,
you just seem offended, to be quite frankly. Like
I'm offended by people who can't condemn the Nazis. Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, I condemn the evils that they did, but I don't really
Against
care
the
about
Jews?
being. Yeah, sure. I don't care about being called a Nazi.
Sure.
Is the whole thing.
I never called you a
I
Nazi.
care
You
about
called
doing
yourself
the right
a Nazi,
thing.
a fascist, and a General Franco
Well,
supporter.
yeah, I am a General Franco supporter. He was awesome. He was so super cool, quite frankly. Because the whole
and
thing.
you don't believe in democracy.
I don't believe in democracy.
What are you doing here at a televised debate?
Because,
this is democracy. Don't want to debate and
because it is the means to support an end. The reason we have free speech now is because we want to be openly talking about our opinions so we can get the state that we want. But it doesn't mean upholding free speech after we win. Again, I've mentioned
the only good thing about this fascist moment we're in is that you guys are so open about it.
The whole reason I mentioned
the
whole reason I mentioned Carl Schmitt earlier, and you kind of blew past him, is the friend-enemy distinction. Even liberals, when they take power, they want to enact policies and they want to enact protections for their people and their ideas, and they're willing to punish their enemy. And so I'm the same way. I'm like, hey, if you're going to punish me, I'm going to get in power, and I'm going to frankly punish you when you try to leverage power against me. Just that simple.
Delusion.
I'm not sure what you want to say.
Hey, it is what it is.
All right. Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to
All
your
right,
seats.
so this asshole
I can't say the same, but
got voted out. The next person that I want to focus on is this frat kid in the pink shirt, and just show you how much rage and hate he he has about him, and then I'm going to focus on two consecutive immigrants just to show you kind of a contrast of how these people view even fellow conservatives who happen to not have the right hue. Let's continue.
Hey, how's it going, Mehdi?
What's going on, man? Nice to meet you. All right, so first, before I start, I need to know what you mean by good. I can talk about the economy. I can talk
It's
about
coming in fired up already.
All of them. All of them.
All of them.
The question that Mehdi asked here, by the way, is, or his claim is, immigrants are good for America. Okay, immigration overall is good for America. Let's continue.
I'm saying immigrants are good for the economy. They're good for
You think
culture.
lower wages are
They're
good for the
good for
economy?
society. Where's the lower wages?
What do you mean, where's the lower wages?
Where are the lower wages?
Yeah, so you can
What's
look
the
at
basis for saying there are lower wages?
Sure, so you can look at like the STEM industry. It's been in like a complete and total recession. There's been tons of studies like from the Economic Policy Institute that shows that like companies like Tesla, companies from like Silicon Valley, they engaged in mass firing of workers, around 35,000, but then they hired around 12,000 H-1B visas. And it's kind of just standard economic thinking. If you
It's not standard economic thinking. The vast majority of economists and economic studies suggest that there is a negligible, if no impact on wages over time.
Look at
That's
the
not
rate.
true.
In fact, your colleague mentioned earlier, construction, there is actually evidence in construction, yes. But in some industries, in some areas, there is an impact. But overall, no. In fact, a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that migrants since 1965 have raised wages and raised innovation.
Who's that by?
National Bureau for Economic Research.
No, hold on. That's where you publish studies. I'm asking
Yes,
for
I
the
didn't
author.
memorize the names of the authors.
Yeah, I know you didn't, right?
Can you give me the authors you've got?
Yeah, hold on. The study you're talking about is from Giovanni Perry, and what he did is he didn't account for aggregation issues, nor did
The
he.
vast majority of
Hold on,
studies.
let me speak.
Please.
Yeah, thank you, right? So listen, he didn't account for aggregation issues, right? And when you look at like the spatial approaches that all these economists use, you're not accounting for the fact that when immigrants come into an area, natives leave. If you look at an occupational approach where you look at the specific firms that immigration is going into, like Kim ETAL 2013 did, you find a net negative impact when there's a 10% increase of immigration. You find around a 0.5% decline in wages when it comes to the specific occupations they're going to.
So
all your studies are flawed.
So 0.5%. Weigh that up against what I just mentioned from the Congressional Budget Office, which is a massive boost in GDP per head, which you're not counting for, massive increase in tax revenue, immigrants actually funding the deficits and debts by paying way more in taxes, proportionally, including undocumented.
Right now, he's doing what a lot of the hateful parts of the conservative movements do, where they pretend something is based in just common sense. Rather, they claim that they care about women's sports. So they're just trying to protect women, when in all actuality they could care less about women. You can see that where the debate is going on right now with fair pay. Now all of a sudden they're making fun of the women's basketball league. These same men who claim they were trying to protect women from these evil transgender women who are taking over women's sports. Now all of a sudden they don't give a fuck because they pretend it's based in common sense when really it's built on a hill of hate. Rather you talk about immigration in general, where these people claim we're going to go after these criminals who are destroying cities and raping our women and shooting people and robbing people and killing people. When they see them going to work sites, they see them going to immigration court, they see them going to people who are on their way to school, from school to the grocery store, people who are otherwise non-important, threatening people. But now they're just they're rounding them all up because actually it was built on hate. It was really an effort to get rid of all immigrants, especially ones who have the wrong hue. And that's what he's doing right now. You're going to see him shift into the hate after he gets frustrated with trying to pretend that the reason he doesn't agree with Mehdi's concern is because of fair pay and opportunity that somehow immigrants are infringing upon. Let's move on.
And what's interesting about wages is I'm in a room full of, I don't know what to call you anymore, conservatives, Republicans, fascists, I don't know. One of you has proudly said that. One of us proudly, correct. I'm in a room full of correct people, but do any of you actually care about wages? Because
I actually do.
For example, do you support raising the minimum wage?
Absolutely, and you can't do that when you're bringing all these people coming into
That's
our
not
country.
the reason the Republican Party blocks the minimum wage. You think Republican politicians don't vote for an increase in minimum wage because they're worried about immigration?
Did I say I voted Republican? Did I say I voted Republican?
Well, I'm in a show that was called 25 Far-Right Republicans.
That doesn't mean I'm going to support every single Republican candidate.
So you and I, let's agree. We both support raising the minimum wage. Yes,
100%.
$7.25 since 2000. 2009. It's lost 30% of its value.
100%.
If you care about wages, we should be raising the minimum wage in this country, not scapegoating migrants who aren't the cause of
Can I
low wages in
respond?
the country. You know who's causing low wages? Billionaires, millionaires,
Yeah, and
people who won't pay fair wages to their wages, regardless of whether you are an immigrant or a
I
native
get the
born American.
monologue, right? Now let me respond.
You had
right?
one. You had one
No,
with
yeah,
your
but-
one study that had 0.5% impact. Go.
Yeah, and your study like sucked that you didn't even know who wrote it, right? So like, let's get back to the point,
because,
right?
because I don't need
And
to
there
know
it
one
goes
study.
again. Yeah,
The
let's hear it.
majority of studies say that wages are not impacted
The
by
majority of your
migration over time.
studies are flawed. That's what I'm
They're not
telling
my
you.
studies.
Right.
Neither of us are economists. It's the economist
Don't
studies.
don't assume who I am.
Are you an economist?
I could be.
But
Right.
are you?
I could be.
Are you?
I'm not going to tell you.
Are you?
I'm
Are
going to
you?
major in economics,
Are
right?
you an economist?
No, not right
Okay,
now.
so when I said neither is economist, I was correct.
Just don't assume
to use your
things.
favorite word.
See here, dude, this is nothing of substance. You look at the red flags; they're coming up. Let me get
That's
to the point.
great, but
So
you're
when you
not an
talk about
economist.
when you talk about the CBO, one thing you're not accounting for here is that they're assuming an equilibrium, right? Do you know what that means? You shouldn't make these type of assumptions. You said earlier that unemployment
Do I
was
know
like
what it means? I thought we're not doing assumptions.
okay, hold on. You mentioned we were like at like 4.2% unemployment. Yeah, that's counting people who have part-time jobs. That's counting
That's how
poverty
it's always
wages.
been counted.
Yeah, and
I'm against poverty wages.
You
Can we
won't let
agree
me-
again.
yes. If you go to like the Lookwood Institute, they
how
calculate it
frustrating
where it's like
again.
functional unemployment. Okay, if you account for things like just people who make around $25,000 a year, people who have fallen out of the labor market, people who only work part time, if you count all of those people together and then add on the unemployment, that's around 25% of the population. So when you go, we don't have jobs, we don't have people to do this, and that, and the other. No, yes, we do. Okay, we don't have a labor shortage. We have a good job shortage. And when you keep bringing these people in,
And
they're
the good
taking
job-
those
the
jobs.
You're
good job
scapegoating
shortage
immigrants
is the fault of big firms.
for
employers.
corporations.
I can
Who
say
greed.
hires
that.
the immigrants?
Who hires the immigrants?
Yeah,
Employers.
exactly. So
But
when
that's
you go,
not
when
the
you bring
cause-
up these big firms,
Okay, so
that's the
let me
way
ask
they
you.
keep
Let me
wages
ask you
down.
a
You
question.
understand that,
So
right?
let me ask you a question. If you got rid of all immigrants coming in tomorrow, moratorium, you think that Republicans and employers of big firms would suddenly raise all the
You
wages?
notice
That's
how
what
you
you
didn't answer
believe.
what I said. You
That's
notice
what
how
you
it was a
believe.
complete. Your ankles
That's what
all
you
right?
believe.
You pivoted the hell
That's what
away
you
from the
believe.
conversation.
Is that what you? I'm
Are
on
your
the
ankles
subject.
okay?
Do you believe that wages? I'm just wondering how naive you are. You believe that the 1% will raise wages in the federal wage
They will
if
be
we
forced
stop
to.
immigration?
They will be forced to.
It's great
When you
being
increase
excited.
labor's relationship to capital, okay, and you give labor more bargaining power because you're
This
tightening
is
the
a very
supply of
simplistic
labor.
understanding of economics because you're
Okay,
not,
explain I'm wrong.
I'm telling you how you're wrong.
Here.
Because you're ignoring the fact that when immigrants come into an area, they spend money. They create jobs through
About
their
about
presence.
1/5 of their monthly
spend-
income leaves the
They
country.
spend
Now it's time for him
that's
to
a good
drive
thing
into
you
hate
don't like
because he's
USA
frustrated.
foreign aid. So
So let me
this
go
is the
into
point.
what my
They
real
create jobs. I
position
came into
is.
this country. So far, every one of my assumptions about you has been correct. But listen to me. I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like.
There we go. Get the hell out. That's who he really is. Everything else he said was fluff to pretend that he was a reasonable, pragmatic person, when really he built his entire position on a hill of hate. He doesn't believe that Mehdi belongs in this country. He doesn't believe that any other immigrant belongs in this country. This is pure hate. Pure hate. Let's move on.
I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why?
I don't want you here.
Why?
Because you come here and say all this bullshit
Why?
about how Americans are lazy.
Why?
You push your left wing
I never
politics.
said Americans
I
are
don't
lazy.
know why you say this.
I never said Americans
Yes,
are lazy.
you are.
The
You're
only person
saying
attacking
immigrants
people
have
is
to
you.
come into this
Yeah, he's
country
hearing
so they can
voices
do
in his
jobs that
head.
We don't want to do.
I
That's
never
exactly
said
what
those
you said.
words. When did I say it?
Really? You
When did
didn't
I say it?
So
We're
why
on
don't we-
YouTube. Guys watching on YouTube, rewind to the time where I said immigrants are doing jobs we don't want to do. When did I say those words? Words
You
never
said-
came out of my mouth.
Okay, so why
I
do we
thought
have to
we're
bring?
doing
Why do we have to bring in
assumptions, my
immigrants?
friend.
Why do we have to bring in immigrants to the
Alright,
country if we have
pause,
people who are going to do the jobs?
Pause. You've been voted out.
It's nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you.
You're gonna have to go. Bro.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Let's move
You're
on.
gonna have to go, bro, is what he said as I left to an American.
You're gonna have to go,
Good
bro.
to know where you stand on immigration. It's not about immigration, is it?
It's not about immigration. It's about hate. So this guy is really fascinating to me because he's going to explain that he's an Iranian immigrant. He's proud to be an American. He went through a lot to get to this country, and he's in a room with people who don't believe he belongs here. He thinks he's fighting for a common cause to stop undocumented immigration and the terrible types of immigrants. And he thinks I'm a good immigrant. They will respect me. They will like me. But what Mehdi's going to unpack is you're no more welcome here than I am. It has nothing to do with my political ideology. It has to do with your skin color, your nation of origin. They don't believe you belong here. You're on the wrong side of history. Let's move on.
See, how are you?
Not bad. So, what type of immigrants are we talking about?
What do you mean?
Like any immigrants or are
Immigrants, that's what I said.
are
Immigrants
illegal
overall.
immigrants?
Im-
part of it too?
Undocumented immigrants also contribute
Illegal.
greatly to the U.S. I say undocumented. I don't think people are illegal.
So, let's put it this way. I mean, I'm an immigrant too from
Right.
Iran.
Okay.
There isn't even
How
a
do you
U.S.
feel about the fact that people here want you out? Are you okay?
You saw Pink Shirt pick his red flag up right away? Right away. As soon as he said, I'm an immigrant, Pink Shirt's like, because you're not really part of the club. You think you're part of the club, but you're not really in the club.
Okay with that?
I'm here to debate you, not debate them.
I mean, you're all on the same side. You're part of one group.
No.
You've been clapping each other.
No, I mean, there are conservatives here, there are far right people here, there are Republicans
But how do
here.
you feel about that guy wanting me and you to leave?
But, you know, let's
I'm just
stick-
wondering. Wait, this is the topic of immigration.
It's not
How do
about
you feel
my
about the
it's
guy?
not about my feelings towards them.
Okay.
It's about staying on this topic.
Okay.
And
Immigrants
talk
are good for America, yeah.
It's-
You and me, we're good for America. And the
So-
guy over there wants us to leave. So I'm just wondering how you feel about that.
So I believe that there has to be strict immigration laws.
Okay.
We have to make sure that the people are coming here have the good intent of the United States
Yeah.
in mind.
That's not my claim, but okay.
So
My claim is about immigrants are
so
net
if,
positive.
if we just open our borders to every single person
No one
that wants
calls
to
for
be
open
here,
borders.
you know, that,
Sure,
that
man.
claims that they have economical hardship in their country.
Who's calling for open borders?
No, I'm just saying, you know,
Or it's a straw man. So you're just saying a straw man.
no, I'm saying
You're
that
wasting
if
time with a straw man. No one's
No.
calling for open borders. I
I
didn't
mean,
call for open
well,
borders.
you wasted
I said
time.
immigrants who.
You
sorry?
wasted time trying to cause division between me and my friends
Division.
over
He
here.
wants you to.
See, so look how he's able to parlay Mehdi's words as if it's an attack on him from Mehdi, when Mehdi's relaying a message that dude in the pink shirt clearly delivered, that he doesn't want him in the country. And Mehdi's asking, how do you feel about him not wanting us in the country? And instead of him addressing his peer, he's focused on Mehdi because of Mehdi telling him what his peer said. So he said, you're trying to cause division. He's just telling you, if I tell you it's raining outside, I'm not trying to cause you to get wet. I'm telling you it's raining outside. You understand? You're focused on me when I had nothing to do with the objective truth that I just shared with you. For my followers who are on TikTok, there was this big trend, this viral song. This young lady, I cannot think of the creator's name, and I hope if she ever sees this, she forgives me because she's a phenomenal creator, very engaging. I love her content, but she adopted a song. I believe when I did my research that it started with a tweet, and she made it a song. She plays her banjo, and she did it in multiple different genres, like she did a gospel version and so forth. But the song goes, "I never thought the lepers would eat my face." So it goes. I'm going to sing for just a second. I never thought the lepers would eat my face. That's all the singing you're getting. Okay, and what it's really reflecting on is kind of where you thought you were in a club and you were shoulder to shoulder with these people, but what you find out in the worst type of way is they don't actually respect you. They don't actually want you here. You're a useful idiot. You're a token. You're going to get spent. One of my favorite examples is there's this pretty well known black conservative, black MAGA. He's also gay. All things that are fine. Your political affiliation is fine. Who you love is fine. But he thinks that he's welcome in the MAGA club with these attributes. And there's a video of him getting beat up at a rally as if he's not welcome there, and he's asking for help. And there's so many examples. A lot of the Latinos for Trump who have family members who are being deported now unjustly, who are being deported at immigration court, doing it the right way. And they're like, this isn't what I voted for. And then it goes, I never thought the leopard would eat my face. So here you are. You think you're part of the club, and really you're a useful idiot. They don't actually want you here. They don't actually respect you. Let's move on.
Leave the country. That's a pretty big deal.
All right.
I mean, you can ignore
Like
it,
you
but
said.
that's your side, my friend.
Like I said,
You
you were
made
the
your
one
bet.
that tried to derail this argument
Derail.
by bringing that.
It's
Even
literally
though we're
core to my
trying to-
argument. I'm saying immigrants are good to America. People on
And-
your
and
side
I
are
asked
saying
you, what
we
type
should
of-
leave. Not me.
And,
me and
I
you.
asked you, what type of immigrants are we talking about? Are we
Immigrants
talking about
overall.
overall?
Overall.
So
I mean, we're not gonna.
so
you want to get
believe,
into? You want me to get into like particular communities? I'm not playing that
so
game.
you believe that people that come here without
Overall,
any
help the
respect,
society.
without any respect to our laws
Straw man number 2.
and our border,
No,
are going to be good for this country.
no, of course not.
So you can't say that all immigrants overall.
I never said all immigrants.
Well,
I said
you said-
immigrants overall. Immigrants overall doesn't mean all immigrants. Sorry to break that to you.
All right, so we have to make sure that the people are coming here have the good intent of this country in
Agreed.
mind. Agreed?
Yes.
All right,
Irrelevant
good.
to my claim.
But when you have undocumented immigration going on,
Yeah.
you can't vet that. You can't make sure about that. Let me real quick, talk about my background. There is no American embassy in Iran. So in order to come here, you have to stay in line for 4 years, and you have to go through some serious vetting procedure to get here. But I made it, and that process has to be in place because you don't want terrorists
But hold
to fill
on.
this
I
country.
made it too. I'm an American citizen. I went through lots of vetting. I took my test.
And that's how
The guy
it
over
should
there
be.
wants us to leave.
But
He wants us to leave.
when
So
people
people don't really care about vetting, do they?
See him nodding his head in the back?
My
but
friend.
people should
They
not
don't
have
care
the
about you
right-
doing it the
people
right
should
way.
not
They
have
don't
the right
want you here.
to ignore our borders and our laws.
Get that
What about
through
those
your
who
head.
don't ignore the borders? Should we get to stay?
Of course.
But he says we shouldn't.
Well, I'm not debating him.
You
I'm not-
kind of are because you're all
no,
together on this.
No, I'm debating you.
Okay. And I'm pointing out to you
See,
that your argument is in bad faith
I'm-
because these guys are actually speaking the truth and you're in denial about who's on your
I-
side. He wants you gone.
You're
I
nodding
never
his head again.
claim that I'm on their side or they're on my side.
Okay.
I'm here to debate you.
All right,
Okay.
pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please
Thank you,
return to your
Mehdi.
Nice
seat.
to meet you.
Listen, I'm gonna wrap it up after this next gentleman because I want you to see the mental conflict that he's going through as he's unpacking the fact that he's actually in a room that he's not welcomed in. And you can actually see the mental anguish that he's going through in real time. And we're going to wrap up here.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Mehdi. Nice to meet you.
The question is, immigration is good.
He's
America.
already in anguish. He's
Overall,
rubbing his
if you look
head,
at the
he's
net
looking down, he's not
positives
making eye
to
contact.
Things like our society, our culture, our food, our economy, our general diversity. I know the D word is a bad word in places like this. I think immigrants have been a net positive. I think if you look at your everyday lives, we all benefit from immigration.
And what kind of conservatives disagree with that?
The guy,
Besides
the guy,
racist
some
guy
of the guys who told me to leave this place and go back to, I'm not a citizen.
Do you think all conservatives?
No.
Oh,
No, in fact, Ronald Reagan, who's a president I wasn't a big fan of until Donald Trump came along. Now people like Reagan look good in comparison. Reagan said in 1986, our country is a nation of immigrants, our immigrant heritage.
Reagan would be a left-leaning moderate in today's conservative movement. Chew on that for a minute. As horrible as Reagan was, whether we talk about Reaganomics or the so-called war on drugs or Iran-Contra, so many reasons that Reagan was a horrible president. He would be a moderate at best, a left-leaning liberal at worst, compared to today's conservative party. Let's move on.
Is our strength. He gave an amnesty to 3 million undocumented migrants. He understood the value of immigration. So I'm with Reagan.
Yeah,
Although
I'm
this
with
guy's
Reagan.
putting his thumb down there. So
I'm with
Reagan's not
Reagan.
popular in right-wing crowds these days.
Yeah. Well, he's popular with me.
Good to hear.
I'm a deferred action of childhood arrivals. I was an illegal immigrant myself. I came
Look at
here
him.
when I was 10. I'm what you would call a legal alien now. I didn't have any say on my parents' choices.
Yes.
Do I think that they were well-meaning by wanting to bring me over for a better future? Absolutely. I believe that.
Yeah.
Did they break the law? Yes. Do I agree with people breaking the law? Not necessarily. Do I think that there's ever a situation where you can break the law for the better or the greater good? Immigration is it's an interesting issue because I do agree with you that
Good to hear.
everyone is an immigrant.
Look at the lack of eye contact, him looking down. Okay, this is my attempt at doing a psychoanalysis, but he's unfolding reality in real time and realizing that he might be on the wrong side because he's saying, hey, I want to protect this country. I want people to be safe. I want immigrants to be vetted. And he's saying some of the platitudes that other conservatives claim. But what these far right conservatives are saying is, fuck all that shit. I'll say all that shit to get voters behind me, but in all actuality, I don't want any of you here. Let's move on.
In the sense, like, can you tell me a little bit more about your?
But he doesn't even know where to go
I've
now.
been here 10 years. I'm a proud American citizen. I'm a dual national. I'm British. I'm American. And I am an immigrant who's contributing to this country. So, yes, I'm very much proud of America's immigrant heritage. I'm part of it. And despite what one of the other people said on this show earlier, everyone here, unless you're Native American,
All right,
is a descendant of
pause.
immigrants.
Sorry, you've been voted out. Please
Morris.
return to your seat.
Thank you, man.
Nice to meet you.
All right, we're we're going to stop there. The whole segment, the whole episode was about 90 minutes long. I just wanted to unpack and just reflect on some of the more eye-opening segments to me. And I think we should all be really concerned that these people are not in the minority anymore. These people are not in the shadows anymore. These people are proud of their hate. It's not just I'm a conservative. They are proud of their hate. They are proud of saying despicable things to people. They don't see us as equals. They don't see us as humans. This isn't to say that you can't be a conservative. This isn't to say you can't be a minority and be a conservative. But if you don't see with your own two eyes that the conservative movement is largely occupied by really hateful, despicable humans, if you can't see that the MAGA movement is largely occupied by really hateful, despicable humans, then you're not going to see it until you're a casualty of these really hateful, despicable humans. You're going to be a victim of the leopard eating your face because you're not going to be able to see the threat that they are to you. So I know some will watch this and think this is this is just another liberal, get off the Democratic plantation, and all these other arguments that you may want to make. And you can say that until you're blue in the face. I'm not a Democrat. I'm also not a liberal. But what I am is a pragmatic, objective observer of reality. And I don't like to be in rooms that I'm not welcomed in. So you would not see me at a MAGA event. You wouldn't see me at a far right event. You wouldn't see me supporting people who represent these ideals because I know I'm not actually welcome there. I don't want to be a token. I don't want to be used. I don't want proud racists to be around me. If you're racist and you're around me, you better be embarrassed and ashamed and keep it to your fucking self. That's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on people who care about the well-being of others, people who live by the model of minding your own fucking business. That means you can marry who you want to marry, you can do what you want to do as long as it's between consenting adults. It doesn't matter. But what I don't want to be around is people who say it's my way or get the fuck out. Anyway, I appreciate you reviewing this episode with me. Definitely going to be pushing out more content. Of course, I have to ask you to comment, engage, share, and subscribe. Much appreciated. Wishing you a fantastic day. Make it a great day on purpose.